met Swami Vijayananda around 2010 at Bhagwan Nityananda's Kanagad ashram. He was there with a group of his disciples, and we just started talking. They were all very welcoming, very happy to share and ask questions. And Swamiji spoke some English. I spoke none of the local language. And a couple of his disciples spoke some too. So we got to know each other a bit and talked about what we were doing. And then he invited me if I'd like to go up to Guruvan with his team for the afternoon. And of course, wow. So we went there, and both ashrams are so magical. At Guruvan, we spent time at the cave of Bhagwan Nityananda. Used to meditate and drank from the fountain that he had started years ago that's still running, and saw the different holy places or special places there. And we ended up spending the night. So we had a lot of time to talk and share wisdom and laugh. And he shared wisdom. I didn't have much to share, but I certainly enjoyed his kindness. I noticed he was so, with all the things he had on his mind, that he was always concerned and aware of other people. How are you? What do you need? Everything okay? And that to me was amazing. Very dignified, very open, laughed easily. The quintessential guru. Lived in his heart and cared for people. So the next day when I was leaving, he invited me to visit his ashram, as I was going to still travel maybe for a few more weeks. And I said, of course, love to. So eventually, through a series of buses, he had said that it was in Bevankopa, a small village about 8 kilometers outside of Bilangal, which was about an hour from Belgaum. All that was new to me, but I found it, and I got to Bilangal and thought, well, this should be pretty easy. What else do I need? I know his name, and then there's an ashram here somewhere close by. And so I'd ask people for Swami Vijayananda ashram, Swami Vijayananda. And my pronunciation isn't so good. How do they not know him? And eventually, being in India, the people there are so kind. They didn't know, but they'd go get somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody, and eventually somebody arrived that spoke some English and knew where his ashram was, Bevankopa, and got me on a tuk-tuk, and I got out there, and I was kind of surprised. It was in the middle of the country off this little road. On the right-hand side was a lot of cornfields, on the left was some cotton fields, and here is a temple, and behind that or next to that is a thatch hut. The Swamiji comes out of the thatch hut. That's where he was residing. Behind that was a building, concrete or bricks, concrete, I guess, where the students that he was putting through school, which was right next door, would stay. They'd sleep in that building unless there were guests like myself. Then they'd vacate the room and sleep in the temple. And Swamiji was so welcoming and wanted to make sure that I saw everything and experienced what was there, the different sights, the vistas, the people. I went with him to the hospital, the local hospital. I went with him to the village and to the school and to town. And over time, I saw the whole area, and I liked it so much, was so impressed by it, and by Swamiji, that I shot a video of the area. And I had mentioned to him when we were traveling around, I said, it was kind of difficult to find you for me. And he said, when I got here a few years ago, people weren't that receptive or open or anxious or even too helpful. I mean, a few were, but a lot of people kind of reluctant to welcome me in. Said it felt like that. he said, and I explained to them, I said, well, I'm going to build an ashram here, and it'll be for anybody that wants to come and visit and meditate on the path to God. And he said, well, my guy kind of shook his head, and he said, no, you'll see. Even foreigners are going to come here. He said, the man said, why would they come here? To see your underwear hanging on the line? A tough crowd. But that changed. I mean, I've been going there 10 years, and I've been with him to the village many times and watched them building houses that he had paid to build for people, or he had given people or cows and trees as a source of income. And at one point, the state was trying to have the villagers without toilets have toilet facilities built for them. But my understanding is that there was kind of like here in the States. I mean, a contractor will try to get as many jobs on the books as possible. It's the money up front, and then you're kind of at their mercy, getting it done. And that was quite an issue for most people. Not that Swamiji, he kept on these people. He got the job done. And he also even got a bridge built. Now, there was a river there, and people had to go way around it, or body water, to go to the towns, and they'd lose 20 to 30 minutes each way. But he was very instrumental in making sure that this bridge project was started and finished. And then he had talked about, since he was a healer, and he'd healed me from something that it seemed like Western medicine didn't have much of an effect on, and other people. But he wanted to set up or build an Ayurvedic hospital there for anybody who needed that, and payment was either free or based on your income. And he got that done. And then more buildings built. And I've traveled with him to his publisher. He was written several books. I've traveled with him to different sites where there's for the blind and other hospitals and the city council things. I've met so many people and seen how he helps them and how grateful they are and how welcome he is. I mean, he's the real deal. I've watched him work so hard in the day, then into the evening, a little bit of meditation, then writing late at night, and then up in the morning, and dealing with so many people, accessible to everybody, that I've seen him wear himself out and get kind of sick, but he just keeps going. An amazing man, a very high being, a great guru, a great teacher, very, very lucky and delighted to be able to spend time with him and at his ashram. And when I leave that ashram, very interesting to me, I always leave more centered, more loving, more at peace than when I came. But the interesting thing is, the way people treat me is day and night. When they meet me after leaving, they don't know where I was. I mean, I showed up to buy something, whether it's a chai or some glasses or some batteries for a flashlight or whatever, or a restaurant. Not all, but the vast majority, they look at me different. And they're just so at ease and fluid and happy I'm there. Not that they're not, they're never harsh, but I can tell a heck of a difference. Now, when I come back to Los Angeles, that wears down. I mean, in my view, there's an aura around Los Angeles of discontent. That is the land of dreams for a lot of people. And thousands come there to become successful, mostly in the entertainment business. And the numbers are pretty slim for the people that do very well. I mean, there's people who make a living, but the people that foster the dreams for others to get to that level of success, that's a long, long haul and a lot of luck and a lot of work. And so there's a lot of people there that are kind of tense, and that creates that environment that after a while, I can feel I lose that at easeness, that awareness of the self. Even though I meditate there and go to a meditation center and do seva, I mean, I'm involved in that. But something about that ashram and Swamiji that's been so very good for me. And I'm going back. Thank you, Swamiji.